Hello everybody, I am Jerix, and today I'm going to be doing another video on my bases in Lumber Tycoon 2. Now I think this is the last real major one that I haven't showed you guys yet. And there's been glimpses of it seen in other videos, but this is the first time I'm going to do a full-on tour of this base. So let's get right into it. The first thing you're going to see right here, and this is the back of the base, is this lumberyard. Yes, that's definitely what you were looking at, was this lumberyard. Not the giant golden Pikachu on the wall, but the lumberyard. Let's take a look at my sawmill, okay? I like this sawmill. I got inspired by this sawmill. Yes, this is a private server. By the way, I am on game with THLAH. He just joined earlier in my previous video. So the way this sorting system works here, I don't have it automated. I don't have like a detector up there because I think that's just, I mean, as much as detectors are a really cool idea, getting it to actually work is not fun. And it doesn't end up working half the time because the server is slow and it messes up with timing. It's just really inefficient. It's more efficient to flip a switch and say, I'm going to be feeding in cherry wood and I want all the cherry wood to go to this pile. Or I'm going to be feeding in gold wood. I want all the gold wood to go into this pile. You can tell lots of gold wood over here. So let's say I wanted first pile over here, I wanted that to go to here, and I want that to be, you know, green wood or whatever. So I just flip the switch here and flip, and now what that does is that reverses all of these. These all just got flipped. All the little controls, these orange buttons. Wait, no, my bad. Not these ones here, but these ones here. So what it does is the wood will travel along here. Let's take a piece of wood and let's put it in here. Okay, we put our piece of wood in here. We can put a noob head in here, or a wobble bobble head. So let's put it in here. It's gonna take forever to come out, and it's gonna travel up here. Man, these are so slow. How wonderful. So it travels up here, and then when it gets to here, if I hadn't flipped that switch, it would continue going onwards. See, look at that, and now it travels backwards, and it goes up to that wood sorter. See? And now it goes over here. Brother, be other, what a wonderful thing. Sure, go ahead. Let me just whitelist him. Do it. Okay. Well, this is a bit of a problem. I think it's too, because this is pushing backwards, this is pushing forwards, and it's stuck. It's a bit too long. I hadn't even encountered that. I don't mill stuff this small normally. But let's take a look what happens when you don't have this flipped. Don't have it flipped, great. Now we put this thing here. It travels along. Let's just assume it went in there. We already know what's going to happen. And it keeps going up. See, this gets rid of the turns that happen when you're like, I'm going to have it push the wood out to the side when it flips this switch. No, because you create the turns and it stops and it glitches. This, it has one continuous straight line, and it sorts by going backwards and changing the direction there. And then it has the turn back here, but that won't interfere with the entire flow. And that's what I like about this system here. And then this, I can also switch directions here if I wanted to. So if I were to wire this, go for it. Let's take a look at what the number is. What the heck? That's 20... Is that 255,000? That's 255,297. That's the 255,297th red ball opened. Crazy. Okay, stop touching my stuff now. Thank you. Bye-bye. Anyways, I just wanted to show that off first. This used to be my lumberyard. It was really inefficient. I have a whole system conveying wood throughout my base. It used to go all the way through here. Had a whole sorting system. It was kind of terrible. In here, cage, storing some items. Kind of just a random space I wanted to fill. Giant Pikachu, glowwood, spookwood. That was a pain in the butt to make. Let's take a look up here. These ladders were just for access. I don't know what I'm going to make. I was probably going to make some chairs and stuff over here, some tables. This space is kind of abandoned. Haven't done much with it. Let's take a look from the very front, because this is how it was intended to be. Right here. Let's just take a good look at the base. See the base here. Love the base, and print screen, screenshot. That's going to be our cover. We have the wood intake. This was the original intake for the wood. Put the wood in here, the wood travels. Let's take, oh, that's blueprinted, okay. Stupid trash. Alrighty. Huh. It's snowing outside, by the way, or it was snowing outside. Front entry room, you got some blue wood. I've used that to fill some of these blueprints over here. Did that in my wood, or rotated blueprints video. I can close this now. Let's take a look in here. I have sawmill controls for the mill out there, so I can control the size that it's milling at in here. And then what that sawmill does is it takes wood, and so it'll go in here, and then I could determine whether or not I have to do it manually. I didn't set up the whole wiring nice like I did with other bases. This is one of my, I did this base summer 2016, and so I could switch and it could come in here, and that was really just while I was building this area of the building. I didn't want to have to carry it all the way around. It was a pain in the butt to do that, you know? So let's walk in here. We have, first key door design that I ever did was this. So what it is you put the wood in here, the wood gets carried down and then milled, so it changes ownership, so it actually would be so that I own it. And then I had a wood detector here, and all the wiring's gone now because I've repurposed it, but the wiring would then open this door here while the wood was detected. And people have fed that full of oak. That's annoying. Sorry, just checking out my window. Okay, this is like, I have never bought wiring parts on this base because this is the base where Defaultshoe let me test out wiring before he released it in the summer. That was really nice of him, and he gave me huge piles of like every single thing, and a lot of them I don't use as much, so 3 things have been said. Defaultshoe gave it to you. Oh, I need to talk about that. Yeah, so that's that. That's all the wiring. Made it on shelves. Slowly I've moved it over to my other bases as I've needed it. That was really great at Defaultshoe. Yeah. Then over here, got just a access door, and that brings us up to the garage. The garage looks like this. I love this garage. This is like my favorite part of the entire base. One of them anyways. The whole base is awesome in my opinion. I mean, I may be a little bit biased. There we go. That's what it looks like. I can shut out everyone. Don't come in my garage. This is my garage. Open it, and come in here. I have a nice, lovely ramp. Spawn a car. Green car. I love that. Green cars are like the most underappreciated cars. Woohoo! Driving around in my green car. Let's come back up here. And I should point out, so over here, this right here, and then I have the stairs going up here. Then I just TNT over there. Back over here, we've got window overlooking the work site here. I had a button over here that triggered that, and then I moved the wiring because I repurposed it again. Got a nice little living area there. Lots of the wiring got moved. Same with here. This used to push and open that. Moved the wiring. Anyways, got this patio thing here. Kind of rushing through this. I don't know how much time I have to make this video, to be honest. So then we go up here. I liked this. It looked like an office overlooking this area. I spent like a whole night making this with a lot of help from friends. The whole major part of the space I had built in about 2 weeks, and did that while just, it was really menial. Let's look here. This is my tower, and this actually has working wiring. Can you get out of the way? So, thinking of blacklisting, no, I won't do that. Right here we have a door going up to my tower, and I wanted this tower to be bigger. It was my pumpkin tower, and originally I was like, I'm going to fill this whole thing with pumpkins. And then, turns out I didn't have as many pumpkins as I thought I did, so no. Then over here we have some spook wood. It's a great place for hide and seek. I've played hide and seek on this base with this individual before. Got my pumpkins. I put a door here to keep people from getting into there. So now you just fall in here. I gotta stock it back up with more pumpkins, because don't you dare come in here. Just don't. I'm gonna... Hopefully he knows what I'm saying. If he doesn't, he's gonna get in there, I'm sure. Crap. Lovely. Okay. There we go. Trying to get out of here. You can't get out. That's why this door here has a switch. So yeah, it's a really huge tower. It was a pain in the butt to make. Here's some gray wood. Got a little lookout here. The tower is unfinished, by the way. It needs lighting. And it needs to be bigger. Then we have a bridge that I constructed out of wires just while I was building this basketball court, which is, the roof is unfinished. Used to have, what it did is I had pumpkins going around here, right? And then when I trigger the button over here, sends the signal up to the wire, this shuts, and then what that does is that moves one of the pumpkins into the court, drops the ball from the center. See, the ball would drop from the very center there. And what that is I have a switch hooked up to a laser. So this hooks up here, and then the laser sends up, and I have a laser detector up there. So that way I didn't have to use so much wiring. Because that's a really great technique. If you have a huge base, you want to send a signal from one end of the base to the other end of the base. Just make sure there's nothing going to interfere with that signal. And then just using a laser is perfect. It worked great. As you can see right here, it is now closed. And so what that would do is that would move one pumpkin there. And hopefully I wouldn't have too many pumpkins in there, and that would only send down one, and then close it. Pumpkin court. My best court yet, I think. Yeah. And so I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.